Welcome to a special edition of Litter Media Live. I'm your host, Mike Smith, along with a good friend of ours, Mike Throne of the Chillicothe-Ross Chamber of Commerce. A number of things we want to talk about when we come back.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, our interview today brought to you by Classic Brands. Back with Mike Throne right after this.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good.
We're back with Mike Throne of the Chillicothe-Ross Chamber of Commerce. Mike, there's always something exciting happening with the Chamber, but some new things also coming on board.
Yeah. The best thing I can tell you is that there are times that I have to figure out where I'm going to be on a daily basis. But a couple of the things that we've got going on, especially this week, we have our Business After Business at the Ross County Historical Center Society on 4th Street. That's Wednesday. We like to try to give that group or any group that hosts a BAB for that matter a little bit of an advance notice, let them know what's going on for food purposes and refreshment purposes and so on. So Chillicothe.com/events. Go on there and register if you want to come to the BAB. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one, I think, this time.
Have you ever been to the Heritage Center before?
Oh, yeah. We actually did maybe 2 years ago, I think, we had our last, actually, Hurley Key Moving and Storage hosted it at the Heritage Center, and that was a lot of fun. And that was during their anniversary year. So we've been there before, and then we're going to go back again next year.
Okay.
So
Darren Baker was with us not too long ago, and he was sharing about how he's on a regional group.
Yes.
That they're all communicating with one another and working together.
Yeah, and I think that's a really exciting part about it, especially as we emerge into World Heritage here this year. All of these groups networking and working together, I think, is going to bring the level of historic tourism up to a new level, which is going to be great. Something
else that's coming up, and you're holding it in your hand. This is new to the Chamber.
So our new relocation guide, it's called the Ross County Insider, came out 2 weeks ago. We're slowly trickling them out to folks, but we look at this as something that if someone is coming to Chillicothe for the first time, Ross County for the first time, you can hand this to them and they get a really a great depth of understanding and knowledge, especially for folks that might be looking to relocate to the area that have children. There's a lot of information in here about the schools, about parks and other things like attractions that they can take in. And then just about living in and around Ross County.
So will this be an annual publication?
Yeah, what we try to do, we did not do one last year, but we did one 2 years ago. Our friends at Star City Printing and Metropolis Design Studio help us put this together when we do it. It is intended to be an annual publication moving forward. And, we're lucky enough to have the great support of our members that help put advertising into it and help pay for it to make it look as good as it does. And the folks at Metropolis do a tremendous job at design and just making it look unique every time we do it.
Of course, that's local too, Metropolis.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and years ago, we used to go outside the community to do that. We've tried to bring that inside our community, keep our tax dollars here. And, they do a great job on top of it. So that makes it a lot easier of a decision.
Something coming up out of the Koppel extension for the Paint Creek Recreational Trail. There's a grand opening Friday, and then there's an event there Saturday morning.
Yeah, so we are going to be there on Friday to do the official ribbon cutting because, of course, that's one of those things that chambers do. It's kind of cool to do one for trail, although, got to hope the weather holds out, right? Yeah. So, we'll be out there at noon on Friday to do the official ribbon cutting for the trail. Of course, it's been active and going for a while now, and then they'll have their bigger event on Saturday.
Yeah, the ribbon cutting, which is open to the public, at noon on Friday.
Absolutely. Come on out.
And then the group ride and bike check, are calling it, is Saturday morning. That's at 10 o'clock. I know we've talked about this with others in the past, what the bike trails, walking trails, what they mean economically also to our community.
Yeah, I mean, I always joke that Ross County is Ohio's biggest outdoor playground. I mean, when you look at the trails that we have for hiking and biking, plus these bike trails, which I think can serve a dual purpose for local folks. It's a way to get healthy, stay fit, get out of the house and do something. Maybe not in the middle of January,
Right.
but I know people that do it. But then also allowing for folks to come here and not just visit the sites, but get out and be active as well. And so we've really tried to market that quite a bit, especially at the Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau. Really working hard. They've produced a trail map that folks can look at. And of course, our bike trail goes all the way out to Frankfort and beyond. Right. And, it's a lot of fun to get out there and take that ride out and maybe stop in Frankfort for a bite to eat or something like that. So
I know of course, the trail runs right behind my house in Frankfort, but when I was walking one particular day, I was down near the gazebo and there was a biker that was resting there at the gazebo, and I was just inquisitive, asked him where he was from. He said, "I'm from Indiana."
Yeah.
So it's amazing how many people come from other communities and other states right here.
Yeah. I tell the story a lot. I was doing a little side project where I was going around checking downtown banners. Mm-hmm. This was 3 or 4 years ago, I think. But as I was walking around downtown, I was looking up at the banners, and 2 guys were sitting in front of the poorhouse having a beer, and they said, "Hey, are you with the city?" And I said, "No, I'm with the Chamber of Commerce." And they were like, "We live in Circleville. We came down to go on the bike trail, but we saw the downtown and we decided to come by. We're going to stay here and have lunch, and then we'll come back and do the ride another time." Wow. We really didn't realize all the great things that you have in your downtown. And, I think when you can get people to come back time and time again and hopefully get some overnight stays out of it, that's where, folks really will see the tourism dollar working for the county.
Rough estimate, what does tourism bring into Ross County?
Boy, you would ask me that. Where's Melody Young guy when I need him? It is a large scale industry. I'd hate to even put a dollar amount on it, even though I should know because I'm on our board. I'd hate to put a dollar amount on it because I'm probably wrong, but it's a multi-million-dollar industry for all of us when you count the lodging, restaurants and other things that are ancillary to that. And I think we're going to see even more of that as, we already have people from outside the country booking stays at Airbnbs and hotels for World Heritage for 25 and 26.
I know when the Cincinnati Reds, of course they still do, they would come into the local radio station to do their tour before they go to spring training each year. And they always bring someone from the Visitors and Convention Bureau with them, and they talk about the packages that a lot of the different museums and so forth in Cincinnati put together. And I know we do that as well. We want it not just to be a come see one thing, come see it all.
Yeah, and especially when you consider that World Heritage stretches from Newark all the way down to Lebanon. When you're talking about that, no disrespect to Lebanon or Newark, but I want them staying here, right? And I'm sure my counterparts in those 2 areas would say the same. But for our maximum bang for our buck, we want them here. And so if we can get them here to see Adena and then go out to Hopewell Culture and then maybe, take in Tecumseh and go to a paints game, we want all of those things to happen,
Some other things that the Chamber's doing.
Yeah, so our annual meeting's coming up in May 7th, and our nominations for our Entrepreneur of the Year, our Legacy Award, and our Corporate Citizen of the Year, and our Young Professional of the Year all close at the end of the week. We might extend the deadline, but we've already got a good slate of nominees, but we can always use a few more. Don't worry if you don't know the answer to every question about the business. That's not that important. The way we kind of look at it is, get our foot in the door and give us somebody that can help give us information. And then we can, take it to our committee and let them choose the best folks that can be honored every year. So that's one of those things that's really coming up. 2 real quick events that we've got going on. On the 23rd of April, we are hosting the U.S. Small Business Administration.
Wow.
The regional office is coming to Chillicothe to do a business walk-in roundtable. We'll start at the Chamber in the morning, and then we'll probably, and just because we're doing it in downtown doesn't mean that businesses outside of downtown can't participate. You can come in, be part of that roundtable, walk around with us a little bit. We'll come back and we'll eat lunch, and hopefully they'll glean a lot of knowledge about Chillicothe and who we are and what our needs are. And because, they've only done these business walks and roundtables in larger markets, the Daytons, the Columbuses, the Cincinnatis. And so our business walk and Huber Heights are the first two that they're going to do that are outside of that. So we're kind of excited about that. More details will be available on that here soon. And then I just wanted to take a moment to spotlight our Women in Business event. Unfortunately, Mike, you and I aren't invited to those types of things, but the ladies do a great job at that. It's probably, and I've said this a million times, but it is one of our best programs that we do. The camaraderie that these women have built inside that. I see these folks that didn't even know each other that are going in, out to Naz Winery and getting together on a weekend or doing events together, going to Columbus and doing things. It's really kind of cool to watch the kinship that has grown out of that, and it's really exciting. This month, we're actually out at Kenworth. Kenworth has invited us out. They're going to give a tour afterward. And, of course, they're providing lunch as well. So, again, chillicotheohio.com/events if ladies would like to register for that. And, of course, that's a monthly event that we do. We're not always at a different place. Usually we're out at Creekside Occasions, and they do a great job of rolling out the carpet for us. And but it's just a great program that was started right before I got there and has really picked up speed now. So
you mentioned Kenworth. Of course, they're celebrating their 50th year in Chillicothe later this summer.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And the truck parade, I think, is going to be really, really cool. Unfortunately, I'm going to be abroad for this year's parade, so I'm going to miss it. But I'm excited to see what happens for sure.
That when you said that, that brought up a memory. Dan and I went to lunch a couple of years ago, and there was this large group of people that were in this restaurant that we were getting a sandwich, and they all had the same hats. And I said, okay, I'm just an inquisitive guy. Yep. What is that? And they were there from Australia visiting the Kenworth plant. Yep. And they all sound like Crocodile Dundee.
Well, nobody loves the truck parade like my wife. So I think she may be more upset about missing it than I even am. But she's a big fan of that truck parade.
Well, we'll have a live stream maybe for you there.
So, yeah, hopefully we can catch it for sure.
Okay. Mike, we always appreciate you coming in, and thanks for what you do for the community.
Well, thank you to Little Media. You guys are always great.
All right. Again, Mike Throne, the CEO and president of the Chillicothe-Ross Chamber of Commerce, our special edition guest today, brought to you by Classic Brands. I'm Mike Smith.